That's a pretty solid introduction. I like that, Rick. Thank you. I can get used to this. You know, it's nice being in a room. You have first responders, you have police, you have military. I mean, this is what America's about. I mean, so to be able to come to a VFW in Pennsylvania, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, I spent 9 years living in Pennsylvania. From 13 years old to basically I graduated college, I lived in Pennsylvania, so I get it. And this was on the east side of the state, so a little bit different. But you know, I really grew up. I get it. It's okay. We can be different and still the same, right? But I grew up in Pottstown, Pennsylvania for 5 years. I went to boarding school there my whole high school career. What's Pottstown? It was an industrial town, right? That was Firestone, Mrs. Smith's, all these sort of places, all these great American companies. And when I was there, this is late 90s, mid-late 90s, where'd all those companies go? Gone. Okay? Along with their jobs, along with their tax base, along with all of those employees, their American dream. It was shipped abroad. And we've seen that happen for decades now. Now we finally have a president in office who will fight for Americans first. It should be. It's hard to believe that in 2018 we're talking about that like it's a novelty, right? I mean, it's bordering on crazy. And yet, that is what it has become. So we need guys like Rick Saccone to be in there fighting with my father. Okay? The Democrats are not going to do it. We've seen that. They are obstructionists. They are the party of dependence. They need you to be fully dependent on them. Without that dependence, what do they have to offer? Nothing. Okay, look at it. A couple weeks ago, DACA, solution, here you go. Let's negotiate it. No, we don't want that, but I thought you wanted it. You wanted it. We put forth something that was much more than Obama ever did, but you know what? Without the problem, they have nothing to campaign on. What are they going to campaign on? Economy? It's, I mean, come on. Come on, I'm going to get myself in trouble here talking about how ridiculous that one is. They're not going to do anything. So when they run some of these candidates that are sort of these pretend conservatives, we've also seen that. Well, I believe in XYZ, that's a little bit conservative. What happens when they go and start working for Chuck and Nancy? They fold hey, we've seen it. Whether it's, John Tester in Montana, voting against tax reform, whether you have the guy down in West Virginia, Manchin. Oh yeah, I'm pretty conservative. Yeah, except you vote against tax reform, you vote against anything that would help the coal industry, you vote against anything that would help the steel industry. They do that because the one thing the Democrats do well is once they get there, they fall in line with Nancy Pelosi. They fall in line with Chuck Schumer, and they follow whatever it is, despite what their constituency elected them to do. Despite where they live. They no longer represent those people. They represent the extreme left of the Democratic Party. And that's not what we need. You like winning? The one thing that my father has lied about, and I'm sorry, I gotta say it. He lied. He said that you would be sick of winning. I'm not there yet. I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it. But I am not yet sick of it. The problem with getting used to it, though, guys, hey, you got jobs, you got incredible job numbers, you got incredible bonuses. You know, they're not exactly crumbs, like Hunter Lamb would say. You know, $1,000 here and there isn't exactly crumbs for real people. It shouldn't take the son of a billionaire from New York to come to Western Pennsylvania to explain that to people. But that's what the Democrats, they run, because they truly believe that. That's what they believe. It's not in line with it, but the problem we have is that our guys are winning. They're happy, they're sitting there, they're employed, they're making money, they're making bonuses, they're going out and enjoying their lives. They gotta stay in the game, okay? Just because DJT isn't on this ticket, just because it's a special election, doesn't mean it doesn't matter. If you have a turnover in 2018, you're gonna have years of just obstructionist policies. All this great stuff with tax reform, all the jobs. It can go like that, okay? We can't rest on our victories. We can't rest on the laurels, the wins that we've had. We gotta get out there. We gotta stay energized. We got to put more men and women like Rick Saccone in office who will fight, who will do the things they say they're going to do, who will not just show up and say, hey, I'm going to support Trump, and then do exactly the opposite, because we've seen that too. All right? You've seen that? Again, like no different than the Democrats. You have an establishment that is deep. They are entrenched. Okay? The swamp is big, and it's got teeth. You can't get rid of it in days. It doesn't work that way. Okay? We've seen what's going on for the last 18 months with all of these witch hunts, right? The only thing we've discovered is the other side is doing all of the things they said we were doing. So it was a bit of a hassle for me, but in the end, it's sort of nice. I'm sitting here like, man, they needed it to be true so badly. They needed to dig so far. They had to make a non-issue into a major issue. And so they kept digging. It was like walking around in a circle looking for the guilty party. Just walk around. We'll figure it out. They found themselves. That's the problem. But that's the world that occupies D.C. Let's make sure we get candidates that are going to really fight for America. Again, it shouldn't be rocket science that someone can campaign under the notion of America first. Who in their right mind, who in history as leaders didn't put their countries first? But I turn on the TV, like some of the jokers on CNN, they are more concerned about the feelings of people in far-off lands who hate our freedoms, or hate our religion, hate everything about us. If they could push a button and wipe us off the face of the earth, they would. But they are more concerned about those people's feelings than the safety and well-being of our kids and grandkids. And that's sick. I'm the father of 5 young kids, 10 down to 3.
Wow.
I see that look. I know how that happens now. All right? I got a new hobby. We're good. Done. But I want them growing up in America that thinks about Americans. I want them to be able to have jobs. I want them to be able to be supported. I want the common sense approach that my father has taken to leadership to become the norm, not some crazy anomaly that everyone in our media can't figure out. So it's great to see the enthusiasm in this room, because it matters. That enthusiasm has to carry. Again, just because DJT isn't on the ticket does not mean that everything he stands for and represents for the future isn't on the ticket. Okay? Get out there, vote. Bring your friends, vote. I see some young people in the room. Not often you see young people at a VFW, you know. So it's awesome for me to see that, because this whole, academia controlling young people's minds and sort of warping them with and in all fairness, we can say some of the stuff is beyond crazy at this point. I read this stuff, I can't tell if it's The Onion or CNN or Real News. It's scary, but it's great to be able to see some young people in there enthused. Can you guys even vote yet? Yes. All right, I like that. Yeah. I like that. I'm not even sure, but that's okay. Even if they can get out there. You can help spread the message, because common sense is not something that we should take for granted, because it's been missing for a long time. Get out there. Let's make it happen tomorrow. Let's make it happen all through 18. And let's show our politicians that it's about time for them to actually start representing their people. Right? Not someone else, not non-Americans. I think it's fantastic if we want to help everyone. But you know what? Let's do that once we've helped our own kids. Let's do that when we're not number 28 in the world in education of our own kids, spending more money per capita than anyone. Let's do that once we solve our terrible opioid addictions that we see here. I'm sure the first responders here deal with that almost daily. Let's deal with those things. Our opponent wants to make penalties. 270 people he released that were giving kids, feeding them drugs. He takes the penalties and makes them lighter for these guys. We shouldn't go lighter on those kinds of people. I don't even get it anymore. I don't even get it anymore. It's beyond insane. Let's put in common sense candidates. Let's put in people who are going to fight. Let's put in people who are going to fight for America, for American values, for America's policy, who are going to put Americans first. Get out there tomorrow. Bring at least, well, you young people, you must have like 4,000 Facebook friends each, so you gotta bring each and every one. You're in trouble. I'm gonna come back. I'm coming back. Get them out there, all right? Everyone else, thank you for your support. Thank you for coming in all over the country. That's the enthusiasm we need to maintain. That's the enthusiasm I saw on the campaign trail, okay? Don't believe this nonsense polling stuff, because I saw every poll, everywhere from we were down 12 to we had a 0, the experts at the beginning, right? We had a 0, not even a 1%. We had a 0% chance of even winning a primary, according to these fictitious experts that get out there and do it, because I know that real America is motivated. I know that real America wants to see this continue. I know that we can make that happen. It was the same when we did our polling. We would do online polling and telephone polling. 15-point spreads. Same sample sets, large people. Statistics would dictate it should be the exact same number. 15-point spread. People on the phone, not willing to engage. So we started asking people a simple question on the phone. Okay, you're writing in Jill Stein. Who's your neighbor voting for? Oh, that guy's voting for Trump. The media had created this narrative where anything he did, you were evil, you were terrible, he was just fighting for common sense. He's fighting for you guys. He's going to continue to do that for 8 years. We need to make it easier for him to have those wins there, because he can't do it alone. Get out there tomorrow, bring all of your friends, go vote, and let's win this thing. Get Rick in there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Awesome to be here.